Capítulo 1. El verbo ser. The verb to be. But before we discuss what the verb ser is and how to use it, we first have to remember what a verb is in the first place. A verb is the part of speech that expresses existence or action or occurrence. Some examples in English are to eat, to talk, to be. Those are all things that are action words. So, the verb ser means to be. In Spanish, a verb has different forms or spellings to tell you who the subject is. And changing a verb form so that it matches its subject is called conjugating. This might seem really complicated, but we do this every day without even thinking about it. Let's look at this example in English. The verb to be in English, when we conjugate, or basically just change the verb to different forms or spellings, we make am, are, is, and then are, and are. So, I goes with am. I can never say I are, because that is not conjugating this verb correctly. The same is true for Spanish. You have to conjugate the verb correctly. You can't say you is or you am. It's not grammatically correct. You have to match the pronoun with the correct form of the verb. Let's go ahead and see what the forms of ser are in Spanish. Yo soy. Tú eres. Él, usted, ella, es. Nosotros somos. Vosotros sois. Ustedes, ellos, ellas son. These are the 6 different forms of the verb ser in the present tense. The faster you memorize these and become familiar with them, the easier this course will be. Ser is used to tell time and date. To say it is 2:30, son las 12:30. Or it is the 20th of November, es el 20 de noviembre. It's also used to talk about someone's nationality. I am American, yo soy americano. He is Puerto Rican, él es puertorriqueño. It's also used to tell where someone or something is from, as in you are from Nicaragua. Tú eres de Nicaragua. Ella es de México. She is from Mexico. And we also use the verb ser for identifying things. To say, for example, Eduardo is a man. Eduardo es un hombre. Or Coqui and Sultan are cats. Coqui y Sultan son gatos. And finally, we use the verb ser to describe characteristics or to tell what someone is like. For example, Rebecca is tall. Rebecca es alta. Or Enrique and I are handsome. Enrique y yo somos guapos. One more thing. You cannot use un or una with ser when you're describing someone's profession. To say someone's a teacher or a lawyer or a doctor, you don't use un or una like we would in English. I would say, I am a professor. However, in Spanish, the correct way to say that you're a professor is yo soy profesora or profesor. Notice we don't have un or una, or you are a student. Tú eres estudiante. Let's review one more time. We have yo soy, tú, see if you can guess, eres, usted, él, ella, take a guess, es, take a guess for nosotros, somos, And for vosotros, sois. And finally, ustedes, ellos, and ellas, son. And we also need to remember, quick review, that we use the verb ser to tell the time and the date, to tell someone's nationality or their origin, where they're from, to identify something, and also to describe the characteristics of a person or a thing. One last note. If you're trying to make a sentence negative or say that someone is not, you just add the word no directly in front of the verb. Like, my professor is not from Cuba. Mi profesora no es de Cuba, es de España. And that concludes our video on the verb ser. Make sure that you have those 6 forms of the verb ser memorized before you take your mini quiz, and you should be fine.